welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan, the podcast with two screams. I am your host,
Joe pointed at me. I don't know what the fuck.
I pointed at you to start the episode.
Oh.
If I do that again, now you know. I realize we have not talked about that.
Well, because Schweiss, okay, I'm on like a 10-second lag here, so by the time Schweiss started talking is when I saw you point at me. So I thought you wanted me to do your scream, your funny scream.
Are you looking in Zoom or are you looking on the stream?
I'm looking at the stream.
Mistake.
I can't even see you on Zoom. I just see the left side of Schweiss's body.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have it as this camera.
Oh, okay.
So just point
and
at
you
this.
pointed at the stream camera, so I figured you knew I was
right
watching
after I pointed at the stream camera. I then pointed at the laptop.
Yeah,
okay.
that's true.
Because
I still couldn't see it from Zoom, so there's that.
Fair enough, motherfucker. All right.
But today we will be discussing the enigma that is the newly announced Steam Deck handheld PC/console.
Oh, man. I thought it was the Steam Dick.
The Steam Dick?
The Steam Dick.
Hot.
Gabe N was like, I want you guys to take my dick and put it in a machine so everyone can play their Steam games on the go. That's why Gabe N has that knife collection.
It comes standard with like Piccolo Hero or something like that. Like you got to play the fucking Piccolo. Just you're playing his dick. That's
the built-in game. Yeah. Everyone who bought a Valve Index got Half-Life Alyx. Everyone who buys the Steam Deck gets a copy of Half-Life Piccolo Hero.
Yeah,
nice. People watching us on Twitch, type in below if you have any like thoughts about the new Steam Deck or the Steam Deck.
Please stop calling it that.
Why?
Because people are going to get
Schweiss just told me that's what it was called, right?
There's more than enough porn games on Steam that people could misconstrue what you just said.
Oh man,
they should come out with Steamy.
They should come up with the Steam Dick, but then it's like a chick porn game. So like you got to do like hand jobs and like blow jobs to the Steam Dick.
Ooh, you ever played Stick Shift?
No, I've never played it.
It's a porn game where you're a guy driving a car and you have to jerk off the.
I wasn't ready for that to be the next part of the sentence. That stick shift would be like, you get one of those old, what the fuck do you call it? Joysticks.
Joysticks,
what
the racing
joysticks. What the fuck happened to my brain there? Yeah, I just assumed you get like a joystick and it's like a movement game with it. That would have made way more sense for a game.
It's a game where you jerk off a car with the gear shift.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh man, with the okay, you could get like an attachment. It's like a base attachment where you put the Steam Deck on like a little one of those things, but it's like it's on like a little rotating orb, and then you like gotta like move the dick and like align it with like it's like a reverse version of Whack-A-Mole, but it's like Smash-A-Puss or something like that.
Smash-A-Puss?
Yeah, the puss is just like dropping down.
That's
and
one
you
of those
like,
animals in Australia, right?
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm personally waiting for the Sibian attachment for Steam.
This guy comes into a bar just like fucking wrecked, like, happened to you, mate? Right into one of that goddamn Smash-A-Pusses out in the wild. Nearly ripped my dick off, mate.
Everybody thinks they're so cute, but vicious.
Yeah, punched me right in the goddamn nose.
I like how Schweiss is so bad at an Australian accent that he sounds like an Australian guy with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
told her not to smash me. I'm retarded, but she didn't listen. Now I'm here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, mate.
Fucking Smash-A-Puss.
Smash-A-Puss.
He has one accent. That's his British accent too. It's just the same thing.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Right.
Oh, man. Yeah, I want to make the Smash-A-Puss. It's like reverse Whack-A-Mole, where like you got to be the mole. You got to like line up with the hammer, but you got the dick joystick. Yeah.
Yeah. That really turns me on.
That's my...
That sounds like a That no joke sounds like a mini game in Ring Fit Adventure where you have to rotate the ring and then like push it in or pull it out to smash robots.
Yeah. Oh, and you can play multiplayer, and then you just get like the cock dildo attachment, and then like every time you get it in, it just like cock punches whoever you're playing with in the genitals.
So Schweiss didn't have time to go grab caffeine at the gas station. I do have Mountain Dew Zero Sugars in a 12-pack in my car that I refrigerate at work, and they get cold throughout the day, knowing, of course, that it will heat to death during the rest of the day. Now, I just opened up my Mountain Dew Zero Sugar all heat, and I took a sip, and I had the thought, this is like, you know, like tea after like it had brewed already. It's like 20 minutes later, you know, that heat level. I'm like, this is like, would fucking Celestial Seasoning make a Mountain Dew flavored tea? And that's exactly what that would taste like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I just
is it carbonated?
It is. I mean, this is carbonated slightly.
Yeah, it's very light. The Zero is good though, isn't it? I like the Zero more than the Diet.
The Zero Sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's really
We're not
good.
doing that. We're not doing the soda tier list yet.
Yeah, have you tried the new flavors, the Mountain Dew? There's
Baja Flash,
Major-
Baja. Fuck, what is that?
Well, there's only a couple that are zero sugar. There's a new Diet Baja Blast. Thank God.
What?
They made a zero sugar Baja Blast, dude. It was like, when I saw it in the store, I had a single tear coming down because I just remember going to Taco Bell for the Baja Blast. I'm like, oh my God, they made one for me?
Yeah.
You ever see the you ever see the
and there's
some guy did like
Major Melon
some guy did
also has a zero sugar.
Yeah, Major Melon's good. There's like a video that explains this guy doing a fucking Baja Blast heist at a Taco Bell. He like brought a duffel bag with like a giant like 4-gallon tank in there, and he just siphoned it out of the fucking cup that he kept refilling.
Oh my God. That's why they had to be like, we're losing money from those guys. They keep on going around doing that.
I like Baja Blast, but I always felt like by the time I left Taco Bell, I was like, okay, I probably had too much Baja Blast. I feel sick. Yeah.
And it wasn't the Taco Bell, it was the Baja Blast.
Well, okay. Maybe it is the Taco Bell, yeah. I'll have to go and just get the Baja Blast and then see if I feel ill.
There we go.
And then I'll decide.
So this new Steam Deck.
Yes.
The new Steam Deck. Didn't Valve have a console before this?
They had something called the Steam Box or like the Steam
Box.
TV.
Oh man,
you gotta.
Can you put the Steam Deck in the Steam Box? See, like, and for all of you Steam Box owners out there, you can place your Steam Deck in the Steam Box.
You can place it in there and charge her up.
Yeah, you charge. It becomes
What was this fucking
brick.
thing called? Hold on.
I think it was the Steam Box. I really do.
Yeah, it was like
starts to run out of battery, and you see it starts to limp, and then you can plug it into the Steam Box, and it'll get nice and hard. So then you can.
Yeah.
You gotta flip
closer
it around.
It gets to the Steam Box, the harder, you know.
Yeah,
I never interacted with one of these fucking things, but I believe it was just like a thing that let you stream
your Steam games,
your PC to the TV, which they also have Steam Link now, which I think just kind of does that natively with your computer.
Oh, Dead Islander in the chat says Steam Machine.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember something like that before, but I never looked it up because I was like, fuck, I have a PC. Why would I need a Steam thing?
Yeah.
I mean, some people connect their PCs to their TV just so they can play it on the TV and like maybe sit on a couch. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's like a nice workaround for people who don't have that option. But the Steam Deck itself is just Steam going, or Valve going, hey, let's just make our own Switch.
Let's get them console gamers in here.
Yeah.
Well, because they've been trying for so long, and I mean, it makes sense. It's a big market. There's a lot of people that are turned off by the complexity of gaming PCs. I understand it.
Well, it's not only the complexity and the price and the space involved, unless you get a high-powered laptop, which of course costs more
and has a definite expiration.
You're basically
date.
paying for convenience when you buy a laptop.
Yeah, so I get it. Like, you have to have a mouse to the side and everything like that, so you immediately have to have like space. I remember like in LA with the people I was working with at the grocery store, you know, they're living in situations where they have like 1 million family members in a small apartment, and like the idea of PC gaming is impossible. Right. Everybody has a TV, so just like hooking a box up next to the TV is fine, but having like a separate desk with a computer in it, that just wasn't part of their lives. Like that wasn't something that could happen. So a lot of people, I think, in places that are smaller, or people with like a lot of family or something like that, and they're living on top of each other, probably urban environments more so, it's just like, yeah, I get it. I get it now. I didn't get it like that or before that. I was like, why don't... Of course, I have my computer and my computer desk, and then separately from this, I have my TV. So I get like that whole thing. Like, PC is inconvenient.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and everything's on. Everybody has a smartphone now, so you don't need a separate device to access the world. It's all on your phone if you have a decent
PC
phone.
gaming is very enthusiast, I would say. It's where you can get the best quality games, it's where you can get the best quality stuff, and probably the biggest like reach of game genres and game types, because like everyone develops these games on PCs anyway. Yeah, so
true.
Porting them to PCs mostly a no-brainer, I'd have to assume. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just like, based on how many games get released on a console, maybe, but like, and also Steam, it's probably like that. But I can see why they'd want to get this like arm of not just console gamers, but also people who have become infatuated with the Switch, which is a large chunk of the population, considering how fast that thing fucking sold, especially since the pandemic. And just basically creating their own custom PC in a shell, a handheld shell that you can take around, is a genius move. For me personally, when I look at games, ideally I want to buy a game on the Switch as long as I know it's going to run fine, because then I can take it anywhere I want. Like I bought Hades on the Switch instead of PC, because then I could just play it on the turlet or in bed or whatever. This kind of eliminates that problem entirely by making it be like, hey, it's basically the form factor and functionality of the Switch, just, way more powerful, because it is essentially just a custom PC. Like they've stated, you'll be able to install Windows on this thing if you want to, and just do whatever the fuck you want with it. Because I think the Steam OS runs on Linux, but they have some sort of Linux to Windows emulation software that lets like most games run.
It's very common. We used to go to, so the only guy in my fucking life I ever knew who had a Linux system. So when I was in my rock band in high school, we'd go over to this guy's house. He had a recording studio in his basement, and his machine would run on Linux, but he could like press a button, because apparently, you can install like an emulated Windows within Linux to then switch over to the Linux system. So that makes sense.
They're saying their goal is by the time this thing launches that all games on Steam will work on this thing natively. Yeah, I know that's a huge
at the point
tall
that it's
order.
released. Maybe I believe that.
We'll see. I mean, I know they're working with the people who work on this like Linux to PC emulation technology to get it like ready in time for any games that are like experiencing problems. And since it's a PC, you got to kind of assume that it's not going to be like perfect right out the box. Like some games are just going to have problems. It seems like they're doing their best with the control scheme of this thing to emulate anything that a PC can do. Like, so you theoretically could play any game on this thing. Like they have the analog sticks and the buttons and whatnot, but they also have like 2 touchpads underneath the analog sticks, which I think is a strategy they tried with the Steam controller that I've never touched, but I know they released that with their Steam machine way back when. And eventually they did like a fire sale and just sold the rest of their stock of those Steam controllers for like $5 at some point. So I never got one. They're like impossible to find now.
Was this announced at E3?
This was announced. I don't even think it was announced at E3. I think it was just announced like randomly a few weeks ago.
Okay.
But basically the gist of it is, it's a Switch that runs Steam. And there's 3 different models, each with different levels of storage. I'm trying to figure out where
is there a USB device that you could plug in a mouse? That's what I'm wondering.
I'm looking here. I'm trying to look at the form factor of the thing. There's like a USB-C thing on top, but I'm assuming that's just to charge it. Hold on, let me See if the tech specs say anything. Because it's got all your normal buttons and shit. But I also like it's got buttons on the grips that you can like retoggle to whatever. So like where your ring and middle fingers would be, I guess, when you're holding it, provided you don't use like your middle and pointer finger on L2 and R2 or whatever. Well, I don't know anyone who uses two fingers on like the two shoulder buttons. You know what I mean?
I have on occasion. It really depends on the game, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's got Bluetooth, so that's probably how they're going to do that.
Okay, so you could do a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard and have that kind of propped up if you need to play a game like that.
I think it's got a stand in the back.
Yeah,
it doesn't actually.
I'd be concerned about like the strategy games I play that are like
you wouldn't be able to play them. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure this sounds perfect for fucking shooters. Like it's
most of the things.
If you like playing shooters on a controller, Dead Islander in the chat says it's for RTS. The touchpads are for RTS games that are kind of harder to use a controller on.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, that'd be.
I mean, theoretically, you could do your RTS shit with the.
We'd have to try it
with the touchpads.
Have to try it. I mean, I'm used to it.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's not the ideal way to play those games, but like if you got to play them on the go, that's an option.
I gotta play Roller Coaster Tycoon, bro. But I gotta get on the bus.
I mean,
what am I gonna do?
If I was a kid,
the touchpad.
Introducing this.
Look, if I was a kid and you told me there was a device that would let me be able to play Roller Coaster Tycoon on the way to school, I'd flip my fucking shit. That'd be amazing. It seems like it's just a decently like a mid-level custom PC inside. It's got an AMD. Wow, I cannot talk.
The AMDA what?
It's got like AMD shit in it. It's got a Zen 2.
AMDA.
It's got a Zen 2 CPU. It's got an 8 RDNA GPU. I don't know what that shit. I'm not super versed in the computer shit. I just know that like it's a mid-level gaming PC inside of handheld form factor. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is a lot. So it should be able to like. I mean, they put a lot in there to make sure that it could run everything, nice. I suppose, at like a smooth frame rate. And then depending on how much storage you want internally, it's 64 gigs is for $400. 256 gigs is $530, and 512 is $650. But the 512 version also has like anti-glare etched glass on the unit, and also the two higher storage capacities. It's SSD storage, so it's faster storage altogether. So like less load times and shit.
Okay.
So it really like the more money you put in, the more shit you get out of it. But all of them have a high speed micro SD card slot. So like kind of how the Switch works with storage, you could just get a micro SD that's like 512 gigs. Just pop that sucker in and install your games.
Yeah. I've never done that for the Switch. I just accept the fact that I have to delete almost everything to get...
Oh, that's really dumb, because I bought a fucking 512 gigabyte card for the Switch, like, I want to say for like $40-$50 years ago, and I have never had to delete anything ever.
Oh, that's okay. There's nothing on there anyway, so...
Ooh.
There's games for children, but, you know, it is a toy after all. I guess I can't I can't really get onto it.
Dragon Quest isn't a series. Let's just get everyone mad.
This is how we burn through people like Dead Islander. He's so present now, but we're gonna say something, do something.
We're gonna say something to offend him,
and he'll leave. He'll just be gone. Yeah,
it's like New Mexico sucks, bro.
Yeah, why would you want a new version of that place?
Dead Islander's asking if he wants to hop in and explain it because he knows that shit better than me. But I mean, we're in like a Zoom call, so I don't know.
That was a subtle joke that Schweiss just made.
Yeah, sorry, I talked over it.
Yeah, no, I can't figure out what button to press right now, and I'm not going to deal with it to have him in the chat. Dead Islander, feel free to chat along, and I'll yell your stuff if it's pertinent. Yeah, this is interesting because I saw it looks exactly like a Switch. It looks to me, and I immediately was like, okay, this is. I know they did it. The thing is, they did it before, and it wasn't that successful. But I can think. It's like, okay, if you could actually market this right,
well, they have.
We could have a fourth major console on the market.
It's not meant to be. I guess it's not really even meant to be a console. It's just sort of meant to be like
I get it, but they
an
could
extension
do it
to your
that
PC.
way. They could do it that way. Look at their fucking game library. It's sick.
Well, yeah, that's the main draw here, because there have been like other things that have kind of done this idea. There's the NVIDIA Shield, but the problem is with that one, I think it like just streams your games from your computer to like a handheld form factor, and it like doesn't work with everything. This is like a handheld that has internal storage, so you don't have to stream shit, and it has a Steam OS built in. So you just install your games on this thing and play them right from the device.
Right.
So, yeah. But I mean, like, I don't remember when the Steam machine was announced. I don't remember all the fervor around it because I wasn't huge into PC gaming at the time. But this seemed to immediately get people on board. Just the idea of like, hey, the Switch, but all your Steam games instead. There's people bitching about like how big the thing is. It's not really a handheld because it's super big. Or like the layout of the buttons is kind of
like
wonky.
The Wii U.
Like what?
Like the Wii U was. It was like kind of big.
Well, the Wii U was never meant to be a fucking handheld. You can't take that fucking controller more than like 30 feet away from the console itself.
Yeah, fair enough.
It disconnects.
Fair enough. That's what I'm thinking of. It's like something pretty big like that.
Yeah.
How big is it?
I thought the Wii U controller was fine. If that's about how big this fucking thing is, then I'm not really worried about it because I already play my Switch in handheld mode all the time anyway.
Yeah, if Dead Islander wants to do some research and find out which is bigger, the Wii U or the Valve. What is it? The dick
box.
The dick box.
The Steam Deck.
The Steam Deck.
The dick box.
Steam Dick to go with your dick box. Steam Dick.
The CEO of Steam, all dick no sack, decreed we must have a Steam Deck box.
Richard.
I don't know. I'm quite excited for this thing, just based on its initial pitch. I think it's only $5 to put down a pre-order. I waited a few days after they started the pre-orders, and it was like, all right, let's throw some money down on this thing. So mine's apparently not going to be ready until Q3 of next year, which is like a whole year from now.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, well, hopefully...
Can you put it on layaway and just like pay a little bit at a time and then have it all paid off at the end? That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. I have no idea what the payment plans are going to be. I just put $5 down, but maybe some people won't end up getting theirs and I'll get moved up the line. Who knows?
Nice. Speaking of Robert and like the nickname being Dick, I thought of a funny name yesterday. This is totally
Richard Big Dick. No, he calls Robert's Bob.
Oh yeah, right. No, it was. This is my joke though. It's you name your kid. It's Bobbert. You name him Bobbert Robertson, and so that way he can go by Robert, and then his last name he can go by Bobbertson. Oh man, yeah. I was like, well, what's a good way to like? Because I was thinking like Robert Robertson because it's such an annoying name when people have the same name.
Would people shorten his name to Bob Bob?
Yeah, you could also call him Bob Bob. Come on, Bob Bob.
Bobbert.
Bobbert. Yeah, Bobbert Robertson.
Bobbert Robertson.
Yeah, he goes
Who
by...
the fuck would call their kid Bobbert?
He'll go by Robert. I mean, we'll call him Rob.
Bobbert.
Yeah, that's a great name, man.
You asked that question like Schweiss isn't going to call like his third child Dirketto or something, or Yog.
Yeah. Something straight out of the Conan.
Yeah.
All right, so what are we looking at here with the Steam numbers that just came in, the numbers on these things?
The Wii U gamepad's dimensions, he says, are 10.2 inches wide by 5.3 inches high and about an inch thick, just a little less. Whereas the Steam Deck is 11.7 inches long by 4.6 inches high and almost 2 inches thick.
So it's a little over an inch wider, a little bit shorter,
and a little bit thicker.
And a little bit thicker.
So it's a Steam Chode then.
It's longer too.
I'm interested to know how heavy this fucking thing is, but I don't think we have that. I don't think we have that metric exactly nailed down. We probably just have some people from IGN that are like, it's heavy because I drink Soylent, so my bones are weak. I am excited to see what this does to shift. Approximately 1.5 pounds, basically. All right.
1.5 pounds.
I don't know what that feels like. Like I don't know how much.
Let's find something that's 1.5 pounds.
So how much is that fucking?
All right, let me unzip my
There?
pants. Hold on.
How much is that fucking fucked up Coke you got?
Do you guys have a? Do you guys have like a?
Let me bring that to the camera. You guys listening at home, I'm sorry.
Schweiss has a circumcised Coke.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be uncircumcised?
I guess it would be uncircumcised and it's poking through the foreskin. Yeah.
Yeah. This is an uncircumcised can of Coca-Cola.
God, you could throw that like a fucking grenade.
Yeah, man. Alex, I guess, dropped it, and then like Jace was gonna throw it away, and I was like, "No, you can't throw that away. It's still good." And then no one's opened it. Been, like,
when was this?
I think it was like I think it's been like a week and a half. I've just kept it as this trophy.
Okay, well, you'd better either like drink it or throw it out in the backyard because it's gonna look like Joe's family's fucking water heater soon, probably.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure if it exploded or if it just decompressed. But there's Coke all over.
1.5 pounds is kind of hefty for a machine like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just more interested to see what this does to shift the paradigm or like just sort of the landscape of handheld gaming. Because when it comes to handheld gaming, it's Nintendo or your cell phone. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Like, well, no one else wants to get into it.
Sony isn't doing that shit anymore. The Vita's dead in the water.
Well, you don't want to look at the uncircumcised Coke anymore?
No, I don't want to look at the uncircumcised Coke. You guys listening at home, you're just going to have to subscribe to the YouTube, find this video if it exists, and then...
the Coke deck.
And then look for this part of the episode to see what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to the Coke that survived the nuclear explosion.
Yeah. That will then also go nuclear.
Yeah. It's basically...
But just the idea of being able to play higher end games that just aren't on Switch at all, like Just Cause 4 or... fucking they're showing Control on the main website here, that game by Remedy. Like, just the idea of being able to play those on a handheld in bed or on the toilet is a very, very interesting prospect.
Being able to play real games on a real console is a cool concept.
Yes.
For us adults here. I don't think it's going to change much, honestly.
No, but I mean, like, the idea that Valve is going ahead and doing this might maybe embolden other companies to try and get this technology to figure it out for their systems.
Microsoft would be in a good position to do that. Who does the Epic Game Store? Is that EA?
No, it's Epic.
It's just Epic, yeah.
Oh, that's Epic?
Yeah, it's just
Yes.
Wait, what did I have
Gears of War people.
What did I have to download for SimCity? What was that?
EA.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just the EA?
Yeah. That was
Origin is EA's launcher.
Origin. I know Origin probably wants to be a competitor to Steam.
They definitely do, because like every year for the past couple of years at E3, EA has put on like their own fucking show separate of E3. Like, they are a big fucking thing.
Yeah,
they are, but also like, sorry EA, you're not fucking Nintendo. You don't get to do this. You're not Sony.
Yeah, they are both companies that put out pretend things. So you got pretend Steam, and then you got pretend console from Nintendo.
It would be interesting to see other big companies put their toe out into the market, but Steam really is, or Valve really is in the best place for it. And
yeah, I mean, like, virtually everything that comes out is available on Steam.
I mean, they could somehow fix it up where maybe you get like 10 really good games when you buy this thing, and then like the game library, you'll probably go through it. It'll be like I don't know, Dick Box approved or whatever you call this thing. The Valve.
I mean, because they have that on Steam where they have like, they list whether it's got like controller support, or all that jazz.
So you'd have a slightly separate Steam store based upon whether or not you have their console or not. Then you get some free games, and then you just this library that you can buy out of and keep digitally would be massive.
They wouldn't even need to give away free games on this thing, because I'm assuming the target audience are people who already have Steam accounts, and those people already have probably like at least 20 games on their Steam library on average. I would have to imagine.
You're assuming that the audience is the same. I'm saying it's a different audience you have to reach. So in order to say, look, try out a new console that's not a Nintendo, that's not a PlayStation, that's not an Xbox. Try the fourth big console on the market. here's some free games you've heard of and haven't been able to fucking play. And that's kind of the incentive to try out the new console. That would probably be pretty expensive.
I mean, PC's always kind of been the fourth thing in the market anyway, but it's only been daunting because it involves so much work and space and money. So putting out this thing, which is still kind of cost prohibitive, like I can't see the average like normie consumer who doesn't get into PC gaming dropping $700 on a fucking Switch alternative.
No, they'd have to have like a $500 version.
They have cheaper versions, but I mean, even its cheapest version, $400, is markedly more expensive than even the OLED Switch that's coming out. So, it is still a bit of a leap, but I imagine that's just to cover costs. Like this has the potential to bring in bunch of people who aren't normally into this exact type of the market.
Those other companies that are making those machines, like Nintendo and Sony and stuff like that, they have ways of getting things cheaper because they're getting so much shit from all sorts of different manufacturers. So you can have a really good machine for $400.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that Valve they'd have to get into the market first, get a hold on it, and then the longer they're in there, the prices can kind of go down.
Now, here's what they have to do. They have to create a love triangle between them, the government, and China, create a massive virus that shuts down the economy, and then we get stimulus checks for the exact price that the fucking Valve, Steam cock is.
Steam cock.
Steam cock. Massive shortage. It'll be the fastest selling cock of all time. And no one will have one, but everyone that has one will scalp it online, and then you can pay for it with your stimulus check.
Not a bad idea.
That's the only way to sell. I mean, that's how you got your PS5.
Just get in there. I've heard there's good labs.
Yeah, bad labs, but they're good at being bad.
Yeah, there's some good labs you can get with,
and
So I've heard.
Yeah. And they'll just blame it on all the people downtown eating raw animals.
I mean, it's a perfectly viable excuse.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're stupid.
Yeah, no, seriously, though, I don't know. I think it could work. I mean, I think it is a little pricey, though. I think you're right, Joe. I think it's a little on the high end, especially for like let's just try this out. Like,
you got to bring it.
Well, that's what I mean. I think their initial thing here, they really want to get like people
free games. 500 free games. And like most of them will be shit, but like old games or something like that. But then like there's gonna be like there's gonna be like 10 gems in there.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know how many fucking
they'll be like,
Steam
you can
sales.
play Skyrim on it, and then everybody will go fucking nuts.
I don't know how many fucking Steam sales you've been a part of, Joe, but trust me, like games that get discounted on Steam during their big sales get discounted way more than they ever do on the other consoles, handheld or otherwise.
You know what I really like about Steam, though? The thing I like the most?
Trading cards?
Well, yeah, but the second most thing I enjoy is playing older games on Steam. Like getting like the Halos we've been playing, when I played all the Prince of Persia games on there. Like Steam, to me...
Roller Coaster Tycoon?
It's for old games. Or for like PC only games, I guess is really.
It's
what
for
it is.
Old games or new games
or occasional new games. Well, that I don't feel like
today's new games. Today's new games are tomorrow's old games. Soon, Schweiss is going to be 85 and be like, "I'd like to play old games on my Steam Deck 4, like Resident Evil Village."
Yeah,
I do wish that they would add more support for like old DOS games and shit like that.
Yeah, like the old school.
That stuff has to get released on Steam. That's the problem. There is a company / launcher. It's actually by CD Projekt Red, the Witcher and Cyberpunk guys, called GOG, Good Old Games, and they like specialize in bringing over those old DOS games and stuff like that.
There's so many to do. And I know like DOSBox you can download and get them, and then you go on some like website that's going to give you 5 viruses on your way to getting to getting the old game. And of course, I'm against game piracy unless of course they don't have it out for you legally or
yeah.
So in that case, I would like I don't know. At a certain point, the old Warcrafts weren't available. You can buy them
and
now.
there's a term called abandonware too that kind of falls under that category. So
like if they've abandoned it, but you still want to play like that game that you played when you were a kid, like get that emulation, get those, because like the Windows 98 games or Windows 95, that era,
yeah, they're gone.
They're fucking so difficult to get running on your new PC, and like watching a YouTube tutorial about how you have to download these 6 different programs in order to get this thing to work, which had a CD lock back in the day. Fucking horrible.
Yeah, like that Wheel of Time.
Hey Joe, here's
game.
the good thing about the Steam Deck is you could install Windows on there and then install a virtual machine and then emulate Windows 95 and then play all those old games right on your Steam Deck.
Yeah. Well, if you can get that installed,
how can I put a dick into the Steam Deck?
I had so much trouble because there are websites where you can download the old games, but then there have to be workarounds having to do with like CD cracks and shit. So like, because back, at least in the Windows X, so it's Windows 98 era, obviously the DOS era, but DOSBox works really well. That's the like, you could just download the DOSBox emulator and it works pretty well. So if you can get that, like, it works.
I want to say
getting an emulator for the Windows 95 to Windows 2000 era of games, really difficult to get running. I know people can do it, but I can't. As a my user ability to do it is taxed by trying to get that stuff working, and it's the same and worse with Windows XP stuff because of the CD crack locks, because you used to have to put the CD in, or you have a code that came with your game back in the day that you would then plug in so that it would unlock the game, and it was like a unique code.
Turn to page 86 of the manual and figure out what the third word is in the second paragraph. Yeah, that's
so. If there were that whatever company is doing that is doing God's work by bringing like old abandoned games to be able to put on Steam. Maybe they pay a small licensing fee to do that, and I think it would work out. Guys, let's start a company.
Old ass games.
Yeah, they have GOG. Just go on GOG.com, download GOG Galaxy, which is like their launcher, which also you can import all the games from your other games into, from your other launchers. I mean, like Origin and Steam and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Alex plays this game called like Pharaoh on there. It looks like a older version of Age of Empires 2 or 1. So I've seen GOG a little. I didn't know they had their own launcher and everything. I thought it was just
GOG Galaxy.
For me, it's old Warcraft, which now exists through Blizzard.
Those are on there, by the way. They got a deal with Blizzard a couple of years ago, so now they have like Diablo 1 and 2 plus Hellfire on there. They have Warcraft.
Oh, thank God, we could have used that a few years ago. Fuck, first Diablo, getting that shit running was a pain in the ass.
I think you guys did that review before GOG got the Blizzard partnership.
Okay, I can believe that. Yeah, if that stuff can get going, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Play Diablo on the
Jurassic
browser.
Park, Operation Genesis, Carnivore's Cityscape, a classic.
Is Jurassic Park Operation Genesis the one where you're the chick and you look down at your titties to see your health bar?
No, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis is the precursor to Jurassic World Evolution.
So, like, the further out they're poking, the more health you have.
What's the Jurassic Park shooter where you're the chick and your health bar is a tattoo on your titties?
There's a million tiny little Jurassic Park games that were common back in the day, and now you can't find them.
Right.
And I would basically love for every game that's ever existed on PC to be available somewhere that I can buy. Buy legally.
In a perfect world, but unfortunately licenses get... Yeah.
That's the hard thing, though, what he's talking about. You got to buy, like, licensing and shit to distribute. You got to find out who the fuck has the license to the Wheel of Time game. That would be
number one problem, is finding out who has the license. But I'm sure those licenses wouldn't cost that much. They're just completely abandoned.
Yeah, no one's using it.
Yeah.
And so... And what's the worst?
I mean, there is the website My Abandonware, which has like 1 billion fucking old abandonware games on it.
Yeah, but then, like, those ones, once again, from those 2 Windows eras... you still have to find other softwares in order to get them to run.
Yeah,
because architecture is so different now compared to what it was back then.
But you'd think you'd be able to just whatever.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be like a way.
Yeah, but it's more complicated than that. Sadly, that's just the truth of the situation.
Yeah. And then like the Wheel of Time one that really bugs me is like I saw a guy playing it and I was just like, how did you do it?
I got it to work.
Oh, you got it to work?
I got it to work. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. The cutscenes just jitter through. You can't even understand what's going on. But the actual gameplay part, I got to work.
How did it play?
It's just an old Unreal game. It's like playing that old Harry Potter PC game. It's really similar to that.
So it's kind of cool.
I mean, I love the way those things feel. Yeah,
I loved Unreal Gold, especially.
No, I don't mean like Unreal shooters, but a game utilizing that engine from a first-person perspective,
like the original Unreal Engine. Yeah,
the Unreal Engine. Unreal could come out with something.
I would love to play Unreal.
The
again,
Unreal emulator.
I think you can.
Every game that was ever made on Unreal, open it up in this software.
That's kind of what the Epic Games launcher is, honestly.
But it's not.
I remember there was a point at fucking EB Games or GameStop, I guess. It was probably GameStop at that point, where they had the whole collection of all the old Elder Scrolls games, and I think they had all of the Unreal games on PC. And I didn't buy it. And then the next time I went to buy it, they were both gone.
The old Elder Scrolls games you can get legally now.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get Arena. You can get, what's the second one called?
I think they're free on Bethesda's launcher, the first 3.
Yeah.
Because I have them.
That's right. So it's those ones. You can,
or at
Bethesda
least Arena and Daggerfall are.
Arena and Daggerfall. You probably have to buy
I know Morrowind I got at some point because they said it was free. But I have the first 3 on my installed right now.
Yeah. And it's the same, Warcraft is available, like he was saying now.
I think the first 2 Quakes were also free at some point on Bethesda's launcher. So
it's getting better until Windows comes out, until Microsoft is like, here's Windows 11. Fuck the entire system before this.
Yeah,
that's
which is coming,
happen.
Sadly.
So, do you think they're gonna?
Did you see the Windows 11 shit? Did you see the pre-release screenshots of Windows 11?
I'm not nerdy enough to look that shit up. I just see the little thing in the corner that says Windows 11 is coming soon. I'm like, ugh.
Are you ready for the start menu to be in the center of your screen instead of the bottom left?
That's interesting.
The center bottom, I mean, sorry.
Is this going to be one of those Windows 8 situations? Oh, you know what Windows has done since the beginning of time is like good OS, bad OS. Good OS, bad OS. Because Windows 7 was when they fixed that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is I wouldn't call Windows 10 a good OS.
Because remember this, Windows XP, good OS.
Yes.
In comparison to other Windows products. Windows XP, good OS. The one before it was like Windows ME or 2000.
Yeah, that was a shit show.
That was the shitty ones of the 98, right? 98 was the good one. And then after Windows XP was Windows Vista. Anybody remember Vista?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Vista was a shit show. They fixed it with Windows 7, which was decent. And then they go to Windows 8, which was a hellscape.
For tablets.
Yeah.
Basically.
It was like, what the fuck? I can't even figure out where to go in this thing. And then Windows 10 was like, okay, it's a lot closer to Windows 7. It took a couple good things from Windows 8, basically.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't call this a good OS.
We are up for a shit show. It is shit show turn.
When I got this new PC, I tried to have Windows 7 installed on it when I switched everything over, and then it just ended up fucking over all my games, so I had to install Windows 10. And it was way, way, way after they were giving it away for free. Thankfully, I just put in my Windows 7 product code, and it registered Windows 10 as my thing anyway.
Oh, nice.
So, because Microsoft is desperate to get their new OSs on as many machines as possible. So, I read a thing. It's like, yeah, if you just use your old Windows 7 key, it'll work. And I was like, oh, neat. I don't need to spend $50 on an OS I don't want.
Yeah, I just always thought, it is time. It is time for a really bad one. I know,
Windows 10 is okay now.
Everybody complains about the OSs. Yes, Mac's OS is better, but what else are we comparing it to? Linux?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And I like Mac OS. It's just the problem is when you buy a Mac, you're fucking paying thousands of dollars for a brand.
Yeah, you're paying like an extra $700 for a brand. I would say although the software in it is
great,
untouchable, basically, it has hardly any problems. And then, but
it's fine.
The other thing is that we like to play games, so then it's not really great for us because the options there are kind of few and far between. So
very few
for
and
gamers,
very far.
it's going to be bad. But for someone who's doing, let's say, photo editing, video editing, anything where you need a strong computer that doesn't glitch out a lot. And you're not really like a PC person where you have to figure all that shit out. Having it all come in the box perfectly fine is great.
Yeah. Although having owned a MacBook for a decade
I don't want to hear everybody's fucking comments about Windows versus Mac next week. By the way.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Whoops. I like them both for different reasons, and I don't see
why
why
want to hear your
that's
comments
not just
next
the
week,
standard.
but we won't hear them until a month from now.
Yeah, that's true.
It really is just the pre-taped call-in show bit for Mr. Show.
So this is coming out slowly.
It's going to start shipping in December of this year. Dead Islander said his is good to go for Q1 of next year.
Okay.
Mine's Q3, so I probably won't be getting mine until the summer or fall of next year.
And it's how much?
It is $400 for the base model, which is...
That's comparable to the cheaper PS5 and Xbox.
Yeah, but it's only 64 gigs of internal memory. And it's not SSD internal memory either. It's $530.
That's like... It depends on the game, but that's one Conan Exiles.
Yes, but again, it's got a micro SD slot, so you can install your shit onto the micro SD cards like a Switch.
So you can get like a 200 gigabit one of those, and
yes,
yeah, perfect.
And it's a high speed SD slot in every unit, no matter what. The $530 unit and the $650 unit have more space, and they both have SSD internal storage. But all of them have a fast micro SD slot. So.
Dude, I like that as a storage option.
It's great for the Switch. Like I said, I bought one fucking 512 gigabyte card for my Switch for like less than $100 a few years ago. I have never had to delete a game on that thing.
Wow.
I install a fuckload of stuff on that constantly, and not once do I have a space issue.
Wait. The Switch has games?
Oh, don't you know it, buddy?
Oh man, I know it has Skyrim, but I mean,
that's not even. I wouldn't even call that a game on the Switch.
I'm telling you,
my thermostat has Skyrim.
All Valve has to do is like a bunch of like hip people like walking around with their big Valve dick, and what's it called again?
Steam Dick.
They got to walk around with their Steam Dick and like their tight pants or whatever, and like with their families playing games, having a good time. And then what's on the screen? Skyrim. Bam. Sell millions.
Yeah.
Millions of
we're
these
not
things.
Putting a fucking decade-old game on this thing. It didn't work for the Switch. It's not going to work for this. Jesus Christ. What you want to put on here is like Doom Eternal or Control or some current gen game, God damn it.
No, but you got to
not a game from 2 generations ago that isn't even as good as some of the games in the same series.
That's what they did.
Yeah. I know, and I derided Nintendo. I derided Nintendo for that shit too, even when it was new.
Oh, you know what they should do though? They should put. Dude,
I got shat on for making those comments on this show. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck? Why is this exciting to people? This game is so old."
It's also
yes, and I agreed when it happened. It was just cool that it was like, oh, you can play it on the go. That's cool, I guess. But I wish it would have been like Fallout 4 or something newer.
But I will shit my pants if like they showed Ant Simulator.
Yeah.
From the old
Sim
DOS
Ant?
game. Yeah, Sim Ant. A game I wanted to play.
God, that's a fucking
can't get a hold of. Like, it's one of those games where I was talking about, like, why the fuck aren't these available?
Yeah.
Come on.
Jesus
We've all
Christ.
seen the Sim Ant.
I'm telling you, it's probably on GOG. I'll look right now for you.
Speaking of 2-gen old games, I kind of wish I could play Grand Theft Auto 5 on my Alexa.
Uh-huh.
So there's just like 1,000 N-bombs per minute just rolling out of my fucking thermostat.
She's listening right now. I see her light. Shouldn't have said her name.
Yeah. Say my name.
Oh,
okay,
God.
Sim Ant is not on GOG, but SimCity 2000 is.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe it's on Origin.
Check for Carnivores.
Carnivores.
A game series I was obsessed with that no one seems to remember except one guy on YouTube with like 20,000 followers. He made a whole series on it.
I don't even know what
like,
that game is. Hold on. Carnivores.
It's a dinosaur hunting game. It's like Big Game Hunter, but it's dinosaurs. And then they made like a story version called Carnivores Cityscape, which of course my shitty Windows 98 PC couldn't handle. There's a lot of those stories in my past about me buying a game that my PC couldn't handle at the time, or the family PC couldn't handle. Both for the Windows XP laptop we had and the Windows 98 big compact Presario that we had as well. It was sad days.
Well, I don't see Sim Ant on Origin, sadly.
Yeah.
And Carnivores, I think you're just going to have to download from an abandonware website.
I did. I got him to work actually on my PC. This is why I'm very emotional about this topic about getting old games from from the Windows XP and Windows 95 plus eras is because the amount of time I had to do workarounds and find different ways of running the game in order to get it to work. Because compatibility, because I know someone's going to comment about compatibility mode like I didn't know about it. Like it works on everything, and it fucking does not. Yeah. Compatibility mode does not work hardly at all for any of the old software. So that's just one of those things. It's just I have tried it because I've tried to get old games off of old abandonware websites, and you can get the game itself. You may even be able to get into the menu screen, but then it'll freeze to death. It's just, it's so painful. It's so painful. And then it's you can get the fake disk image if you put in this software that has it reads fake disks on your computer. And the workaround for that is so terrible. Just a company just needs to go through and just code it where you can open it on a new machine. That's it. And then they can make some money off of that. And the old company that had it before can make some money off of licensing. So I don't see why the fuck, if you're a company that owns the copyright for Sim Ant and it pops up on Steam, you're going to make some money off of that.
I know. It's just Sim Ant was made by Maxis, which is now owned by EA, who has their own launcher. They don't put everything on Steam. That's the problem. It's too corporate, too many fucking hands and too many different pies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever. They don't want to make money off of us, I guess. And we don't get it.
We're trying to give you money.
Yeah.
For Simcopter or whatever.
Yeah. Take my fucking money. I want to play Lego Island 2. Jesus fucking Christ. Give me
Well, that's like a that's like a whole other thing.
That game is actually dog shit. I loved it when I was
going to say,
it was
I do not remember hearing favorable things about Lego Island 2 of all things.
It's not great, but I did play it a lot. I watched a YouTube guy who I sent this video to Schweiss. Schweiss is asleep right now, by the way. I watched this video where this guy had this ultimate gaming basement, and he had multiple high-end PCs at the time, and he had those games and their boxes and everything like that. So he had a Commodore 64, he had a DOS computer, he had something that had Windows 98 on it, and then he had a Windows XP one, and he had all the games and all their boxes and everything.
Was it Lazy Game Reviews? Because that guy does that.
I have no idea. I don't know what it was, but when I came across it and I watched the thing, I was like, oh my god, this is an amazing an amazing setup he has here.
Lazy Game Reviews has a fucking, I don't remember what kind of PC it was, but it runs Windows 98, and he'll test shit on there like Duke Nukem 3D and Doom 3 and all this shit, but it's got a CRT monitor, classic monitor.
Yeah. And I was thinking, I'm like, oh, why did I give my monitor back or why did I give my CRT TV back to Schweiss? That was a mistake, because I'm looking at my old consoles and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
That little delay between it and my HD television is
makes a difference.
Probably it does make a difference if it's an action game. It really does. Yeah. One day when I have the basement and CRT TVs are $5,000, that'll be the day. That'll be the day. Right now they're free. You can go to Facebook Marketplace and get yourself a CRT TV. Yeah, man. It's going to be interesting to see what they have. I mean, you're obviously in a different camp than me. I feel like they could step into the console market and give Xbox a run for its money if they wanted.
That seems to be what they're aiming to do with this. I mean, this thing is even dockable. It needs a separate thing that's sold separately, but you can dock this to your TV technically. Yeah. So they're really good. They're really going for Nintendo's market share with this thing, which is interesting. I'm interested enough that I put down $5 on the damn thing.
Yeah. You said one was $400. You didn't talk about the other prices yet. Sorry, I cut you off.
I did multiple times. The mid-grade one is $530, and the high-end one is $650.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Didn't hear you then. I don't know. You're gonna buy one. I'm thinking about it. We'll see what my PC situation is like in 2 years. I'm just hoping that after your Q3 2022 business, like you could get one and it can come to you quickly.
Yeah.
So maybe the back orders are done, and then you could actually obtain the thing that you want.
Yeah. I'm hoping that will be the case. Unless they saw like the PlayStation 5s and the Xbox's like releases and the fiasco that was, and this is how they decided to go about it.
I just want the other companies to try this exact thing, because like Sony kind of had it with the Vita. There were a bunch of games that were like cross-play on the Vita, where it was like you would get the PS3 version and you would also get the Vita version for free, and then you could like transfer your save from the PS3 to the Vita. Like Sly Cooper 4 did that shit, and then the Switch just did the same thing but made it all one system, eliminating the need to like upload saves to the cloud or whatever, because that took a few minutes. Mm-hmm. So it's like instantaneous, and now we're doing it like the same thing that the Switch is doing, just with a way bigger, better game library. And the Switch already has a big, good game library, but it's not nearly as powerful a machine as like your standard PC. So this just seems like the best possible coalition of all those ideas coming together. Because I love my fucking Vita, and that's why I love the Switch. It does a lot of the same shit that the Switch that the Vita did, just better.
What was it like to buy a Vita and know that no one else bought one?
I just wanted one, and honestly, I bought the Vita before it got all the like PlayStation Plus games. So I bought it because I had shit. I was sitting on copies of like Gravity Rush and Uncharted from PlayStation 3, or PlayStation Plus, I mean. So, like once they, I think I bought it like right before they did that big push where it was like, there's 12 free games at any given time, but we'll switch out a few of them every month. And like a bunch of them were indie games on the PS4 and PS3 that also got you Vita copies. So like I played like Hotline Miami on that thing. I played fucking so many indie games on that thing. And also it helped that it had shit like Persona 4 Golden, the definitive version of Tearaway. I don't give a fuck about the PS4 version of Tearaway because Tearaway was made for the Vita. Yeah, I love that fucking thing.
Okay.
I just wish that Sony did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't sell well. So they only love things that
because
sell
they didn't market it. And when you're talking about your old game shit, a lot of the PSP library worked on Vita. Like, you had to download them from the store, but there were a bunch of PSP games that worked on Vita, and a lot of the PS1 classics work on Vita. I could play Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy V on my PS Vita right fucking now. That's how I played Symphony of the Night for the first time, sitting in my bed like a Chad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Vita, it's funny because everyone that has a Vita loves the Vita. Everyone else just has no interest in buying the Vita. So like I do, it has to have been a marketing thing because it's so cool.
No, they didn't market it at all.
It's a pretty cool.
They put out the Vita and then forgot about it immediately. It was so stupid.
It's basically a PS2,
PS3.
It's like around a PS3 level of quality, and it had to have just been the marketing because like I was never interested in one. Like I kind of am a little bit now. Just to get more trophies, but then at the same time, it's like what am I going to play?
Here's the thing: the Welcome app that comes pre-built on the Vita, that like shows you how to use the touchscreens and everything, it has a few little mini games that has trophies. So there you go.
Ooh,
immediate
satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what the versatility of being able to play console level games on the toilet, in bed, whatever, combined with the versatility of being able to play older games.
Yeah.
Not every older game, obviously, but a lot of them work on that thing for PSP and PS1. And then like the just glut of indie games that were like, yeah, we'll give that a Vita port. Why not? Like it's the exact same reason I like the Switch, because it's got all that same versatility. And this Steam Deck thing seems like it's going to be the next evolution of that, just by virtue of it being tied to a system that I already have 500 fucking games in my library and being a more powerful machine. Mm-hmm. And essentially just being a PC that I could theoretically mod and put emulators on or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know. I'm pumped as shit. I want to see what companies do after this thing releases, if it's a success, because Valve has not done great with a lot of these offshoots in the past. I don't even think the Valve Index is really that popular. despite being their flagship VR headset. But I bought one, so who knows?
Well, you just bought this, and you already have to wait a whole year for it.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
or you dibsed it.
I put $5 down on the promise of this being like a better Switch. Yeah. So that was enough to get me in the door. Hopefully, if this thing is successful, like if it takes off as much as the Switch did, granted, I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout as the Switch because the PC market is a little more niche, so you're not going to get nearly as many casual people. But like, if this thing does take off, I really want to see what it does to the landscape of handheld gaming in general. I want Sony and Microsoft to try doing this shit. At least I want Sony to try doing this shit again and maybe make a commercial or two for it.
Yeah,
who knows?
A commercial would be nice.
Maybe they didn't market the Vita because their commercials for the PSP were so fucking bad that they were like, we're not even going to bother this time. They were like, well, what can we do to market the PSP? I don't know. Get some jive talking squirrels to talk about playing nuts outside. Or get the sassy black kid from the movie Role Models and have him be the face of the PSP. Fucking stupid.
I don't remember those commercials at all. So there you go.
Exactly.
But I remember the PSP.
Well, yeah, because you had
know
one.
What? And I have one, but honestly, when I go to the used game store and I go to the PSP section, I never see a game where I'm like,
that you want.
Gotta have that. I feel like, I know it was a popular system, but I honestly don't. My mind wasn't in it. I couldn't tell you what the good PSP games are.
Here's the thing with Sony's handhelds. With Sony's handhelds, and I guess now with the 3DS and the DS, because I'm trying to get some of these older Dragon Quest remakes for DS, and they are fucking expensive because they're so rare. It's always like a JRPG machine. The only games you're going to care about on PSP or Vita are obscure-ass JRPGs that they made 10,000 copies of and no one bought. And it's just like, I can't find a copy of Persona 4 Golden for the Vita to save my fucking life. Or like Final Fantasy 4 for the PSP. I mean, I know you have it, but like, I can't imagine that game's common anymore. Yeah. These handhelds are basically just JRPG machines at this point. If you want the really, really, really good games for them. So, yeah, I mean that's why you can't think of any PSP games that are great because you're not going out looking for a copy of Idra Union. We fight together for the PSP because you don't even know what that game is.
I do, no kidding. At every game store I see, there's always a UMD copy of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
It's just a staple.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh,
always on UMD. The PSP movies that came out. It's always there. There's always a copy of that movie, which is one of my favorite movies, so I notice it, but it's always available.
Why don't you get it on the UMD, man? So
there's nothing like watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon on the smallest screen I could find in the house.
Oh, no, here's what you do. You get my little adapter, and then you watch it, and then you watch it on your TV, but just
just the worst quality you could think of.
Yeah, the worst possible quality
than DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. I mean, I have my 4K Blu-ray version, got my regular Blu-ray version, I got my DVD. No kidding, I have all three, by the way.
Oh, gotta complete it.
You gotta get the UMD.
I don't know what else to say.
Gotta get the UMD.
Go for it. It's better than spending $80 on a PSP copy of Gungnir or whatever some other obscure RPG is I can think of.
Gungnir,
yeah.
Gungnir 340 out of 50 days.
Yeah.
No, there is one called Nights in the Nightmare.
Hacker's
which
Memory?
Is part of the same series, but that's also on DS, and it's actually probably made for DS first and foremost.
Right.
Don't look for it, though, because you'll end up buying the fucking soundtrack and the art book to it.
No, it came with the soundtrack. I have the box right here. It fucking came with the soundtrack. I have the CD in here. This is hard to find. There you go.
There you go.
My God. All right, well, interesting discussion about a possibly just a computer device that's really expensive or possibly the next console on the market. Possibly a new
We will
contender.
see come December and maybe all of next year, depending on how many
Sega.
people get them.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how the console wars go in 2 years from now.
I just want to play my fucking hentai dating sim visual novels on the toilet so I can jerk off in the toilet and stop wasting tissues.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Yeah,
Save the trees.
Save the trees.
Save the trees.
Save the trees.
Valve, saving trees one tissue at a time.
Saving trees, but wasting water.
Saving trees, but blowing loads. I don't know.
Believe me, water's more important over here right now. Okay.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
We don't need those stupid trees.
Yeah.
Don't you wish you could drink your air now, Schweiss? You fuck.
Yeah.
All right. This is it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. We are going to be reviewing Halo 2 and In the Name of the King later on this month, so please stay tuned for those episodes. Otherwise, log your hog, your media that you consume and the exercise you do.
Hogib.herokuapp.com.
That's right. The link is in the description of this episode. And also join our Discord if you want to join the conversation, or you can tweet us. You can tweet the show at Nude Clan Podcast. You can tweet me at Joseph DeGoyer.
You can tweet me at UFF Podcast.
You can tweet me at A4 Extreme.
And we'll see you guys next time. Adios.
Live always in the nude.
Did he say nude? Did he fall asleep?
He did.
I said nude.
Walk with your steam dick held high.
Fuck off.